Hello folks, this is Margie Roy from 3dcuts.com, and today I'm going to do the tutorial on how to put together the covered bridge for Tea Light Village. Tea Light Village is a village that I have been working on for many years, and every year I come out with a few new buildings for the village. This year, 2018, one of the new buildings is a covered bridge. As is always the case, there is an online tutorial at my website at 3dcuts.com. You should go there and look at the tutorial to get many more hints on how to cut this out, the types of paper to use, and some photographs of the process as well. Don't just rely on this video. So let's get started. These pieces here, which I've all cut out ahead of time, here are the pieces for the bridge. These are the pieces for the sleigh, the horse-drawn sleigh. Here's the Christmas tree for the back of the sleigh, and this is a tree just for the environment. We're going to start by putting the covered bridge together first. So, on the covered bridge, the first thing to do is add wax paper to the inside of the side openings. On a covered bridge, you wouldn't have glass in them, but if you're going to put a tea light in here, it is nice to put the wax paper in to make the light a little less bright, subdue it a little bit. To do that, I use art glitter glue that I have put into a smaller container, and I just put a very little line, very tiny line, of art glitter glue around the frame, both frames. Put a piece of wax paper over it. You could also use vellum. Then I take an X-Acto blade and I outline, cut the edges neatly. There we go. Now, I use a dotted line as my fold lines, and I would fold all of these before I start construction. They all fold in the same direction, toward the inside. There we go. Now, in most of Tea Light Village, I have not put door frames, but on this one, because the doors are so big, I decided to put a piece of trim to help reinforce them. So again, I'll take my art glitter glue and put a very slight, tiny line of glue right around the frame of the large opening. Press that in place. Repeat on the other large opening. Now, for the construction of the actual building, I like to use art score tape as my adhesive of choice. I put all the pieces of the score tape on all of the tabs while it is still flat. That is much easier than trying to do it as you put it together. So here, add score tape to all of the various tabs. Make sure you also get this little zigzag tag over here at the end. The zig is there so that it won't show through the opening on the side of the covered bridge. Okay, press all of these down hard. And start align the bottoms and then the side right to the corner there. That'll form the basis of your building. All of the Tea Light village buildings are 2 inches square just to fit a regular tea light. Now peel the 2 sides of the eaves to put the roof on. You start with the side closest to the roof and peel both of those. Then carefully line the edge with the dotted line, press in place, and do the same on the other side. This is really very basic 3D construction. Then you can peel the next 2 sides. And also this tab here on the end of the roof. That kind of gets folded back and placed inside on the wall here. Get that in place and touch it on the inside to adhere it, and then do the 2 peaks. And I forgot to put the score tape on for the roof, so I'm going to have to do that now. Supposed to do all of that before I put it together. I put score tape across the front, and I put score tape across the other end as well. There's really no front or back to a covered bridge. Okay. This piece here is the roof. It also has a dotted fold line right there. I will peel off the backing. I will carefully line up the peak of the roof to the fold line, trying to get it placed halfway there in the middle. Adhere it. Fold the other half over, and there we go. The covered bridge building is done. An optional addition to the covered bridge is to put a base on it. If you're going to display it when it's suspended between 2 supports, you are going to want a base on it. Most of Tea Light Village has no base, but I have included an optional base in the download file. Put score tape on the 2 edges, peel that, and fit that right there into the base. This base would be universal to almost all of the buildings in Tea Light Village if you wanted to add bases. I did include a hole for putting a fairy light in it. You can take that out if you don't need it. Use the either the ungroup or the release compound path to get that hole out before you cut if you'd like. But that provides a base in the covered bridge if you're going to suspend it over a river and you'll see the bottom. That's optional. Now, on the covered bridge, I didn't just make the building. I also designed a sleigh. Here are the pieces for the horse-drawn sleigh. Okay, and then the tree that goes in it. To do this, and this is really tiny, so I hope you'll be able to see it well. First of all, this main piece is the sleigh. There are 2 runners that get folded down here. Make sure you fold on the dotted line. it doesn't want to fold there because it's very close to the edge. So you've got to carefully work it there. Okay. This piece is the back of the sleigh. And this front, back side of the front, floor, bench, back side of the bench, and the other floor. This long piece will get positioned like this inside the sleigh. We will open that now. Here is the pattern of the folds for you on that. Now, let's put that to the side and let's work on our little horse and man. They are connected. Be careful on the reins here. I like the horse to have a little bit of three dimension to him so he'll stand up. So I'm taking pop darts and I am cutting them. These are the 1/4 inch square kind, and I am cutting them in half. And on one of the horses, and it really doesn't matter which one goes in front or back, but I'm going to put these little pop dots down by its belly and peel the backing off of it. I'm also going to take a tiny one and put it, just a singleton, half there, near the man's arm. I don't know if you can see that there. And peel that one. Now I'm going to take my art glitter glue and I'm going to put glue on the tail, along the back of the horse, on his head, getting a little bit too much there, on his nose, down the front here, and above the pop dots. I'm not going to put it on the legs. I'm not going to put it on the reins. I'm going to put it on the back of the man and up on his head, like that. No more than that. Now, the horse's head matches up. His back matches up. His tail matches up. But there is a space left there because of the pop dots. Now let's get over to the man with the top hat here. And I want to line up his head and glue that together and glue his back side together. There should be no glue on this tab here, no glue on his legs, no glue on his arms, so that there can be a little space between them here. He really does have 2 arms and 2 legs. Okay, now this tab on the bottom side of the man gets put into this slit here in the bench on the wagon. These will get bent out on the other side and glued in place. So you will take those and you will slide them into this notch. I am going to open that notch a little bit wider. These get slid up this way. There. See how those go together? Now I'm going to turn this over and put a dab of glue on both sides on the bottom. And I'm going to separate them. And fold them down. And our top hat driver is now attached to the underside of the seat of the sleigh. Now, once he's in place, we can put glue on this first tab here. We don't need it on the second tab. We need it on the third tab. We do not need it on the fourth tab. We do not need it on the 5th section or the 6th section. We need it on the last section as well. Just a little bit of glue. Now these two get pinched together and the floor gets pinched to the floor of the sleigh. See how that's the front of the sleigh? Now we will bend the seat back in place, and this last section lines up directly with the back of the sleigh, right in there. So here we've got our driver, our horse, and the beginnings of our sleigh. On this back of the sleigh, there are 2 tabs. We can fold those in at this point. They will help hold that in place later. Now, the sides get placed on the sleigh. Front tab, you put glue just on the runners. Just a little bit, and make sure you get it in every place. That will add a lot of strength to the runners. There's a little bit too much out there, so that I'll wipe off. I take the side. They line up perfectly, and I squeeze it into place. I'm going to flip it over, and I'll repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, take out the back and put just a dot of glue on the tab here. Again, a little too much, wipe that off. And just a little bit over here on this one. Then slide them inside and adhere them to the sides of the sleigh. Okay, and on the front, we have 2 little tabs on the side here that will wrap around and glue onto the front to hold the front of the sleigh in place. This is a time where tweezers might work better than your fingers. I can get the tweezers down there and just really squeeze that nicely. Hold it until it sticks. There we go. Now, you might have to spread the legs of the horse a little bit and rock the seat into place here so that the horse and our driver here can trot along. In addition, there's a long skinny piece that will attach the horse to the sleigh. I fold this in half, and I take my art glitter glue and I put just a little bit here in the center, not very far along. Then I'm going to take that at the horse's chest and position it so that it'll come back here and glue onto the sleigh like so. I will then take a dab of glue here and glue the side rail there. I don't know much about horses and sleighs, so I don't know what these parts are called. But I'm sure they have terms. And that one on that side. Again, tweezers. And I'm going to put that to the side and let that dry a little bit before I clip these extras off. While that one's drying, I'm going to take the tiny little Christmas tree, and it's got the perforated lines. I'm going to fold along those on both of them. And to adhere these together, you can use either real skinny score tape, or you can again use the art glitter glue. The score tape is faster. Glue these two together. Tweezers again to pinch them in place. Open that and put that to the side to also dry. This set includes a larger Christmas tree as well, just to put alongside the banks of the river that the covered bridge is going to cross. Again, I use the perforated line as my fold line. And on this one, I will use the 1/8" score tape. There we go. We have a tree for Tea Light Village. We have the sleigh and the horse. This little tree will go in the back of the sleigh. Oh, we need to cut off those extras. After this is dry, take a pair of scissors and snip off the extra side rails there. Okay. This gentleman will be bringing home the Christmas tree, and he'll be coming out of the covered bridge. There we go. How many Tea Light Village buildings have you made? I've been designing them for a number of years, and there is a whole village that you can construct. At my website at 3dcuts.com, there is an idea tab, and if you look under there, you will see many photographs of the different ways craftspeople have put together their Tea Light villages. Happy crafting, everyone!